everyone complain about the refs? Oh my god, is that what we sounded like? Dude, for years! Man, I am never doing that again. Unless next game, let's go! Why not? The Toronto Maple Leafs! I guess my brand is a yell and scream. I don't script these. Are the Leafs alright? So what you get is from the heart. Welcome to LFR. Victory, puppy Ziggy! The refs rigged the game! Just like they've been rigging every game, which is why the Leafs have so many cups since the moon landing. Too intense? Was that a bit too intense? I love you. That's one! Leafs win! 5-1 over the Montreal Canadiens in Game 2 of their first round series, tying this thing up at 1 game apiece. Without John Tavares in the lineup, the first star was absolutely everybody. Dominant win. Their most dominant playoff win in years. Last game, I told you the Leafs would win Game 2. I never felt nervous, even for a minute. I meant it. This team is different. Now, my goodness, a lot has happened since the last video. First and foremost, this isn't a laughing matter, but it's extremely good news. We got a medical update on John Tavares. From Sportsnet's Chris Johnston, John Tavares has been cleared of all structural damage to his head, neck, and spine, according to Kyle Dubas. That is enormous, stupendous news. Now, the bad news, obviously, number one, he suffered a concussion. Number two, he had an MTL injury. That's an injury to his knee, and it was described by Kyle Dubas as being similar to the one Zach Hyman suffered a few weeks ago, and that kept him out for a minimum of 2 weeks. Dubas said all the right things. Obviously, they want to practice an abundance of caution here with John Tavares. The knee injury has a timeline. The concussion does not. He could be fine very soon. He could be not fine for a very long time. We don't know, so don't go going, oh, I hope he's back for round 2. I hope he's back for whatever. The knee injury alone keeps him out until at least partway through round 2. But the especially good news, obviously, the no structural damage, but also he was alert enough to speak to his teammates. He was talking to them, giving them updates, and basically putting the team at ease. So now, for the remainder of this series against the Montreal Canadiens, the Toronto Maple Leafs have to do it without their captain on the ice. Switching gears rather aggressively, we uploaded a video that was a clip from the podcast talking about the Leafs' performance in Game 1 and what they need to do differently in Game 2. And because we live in the most normal timeline ever, I got accosted by Kyle Dubas' grandmother. So here's the video and the thumbnail discussing how the Leafs played in Game 1 and what needs to change for Game 2. I'm gonna defend myself. In this video, I straight up said they're gonna win Game 2 and the series, but oh well. Then Grandma Doobie said, stop it. They had an emotional setback. You will see a different game tonight. And I said, I'm with you, Grandma. I said they win Game 2 because I believe it. And it got way fewer likes than her tweet. This is not a conversation I expected to be having, but Grandma Doobie, same team. Go Leafs, go. Okay, so anyway, after that, the Leafs played a hockey game. And a pretty different lineup for Game 2, and the way they performed in Game 2, I have a hard time believing they're not going to go back to this for Game 3. First line stays intact. Second line completely different. Galchenyuk is on the left wing. Foligno is at center. I think he sort of split it with Nylander, and Nylander was on the right wing. Mikheyev, Kerfoot at center, and then Engvall was actually the third line. I like that combination, that trio. They're really fast. Grumpy Old Men line stays together, and I like that actually, because a lot of people were saying, break that up, they were terrible in Game 1. I agree, but I bet the farm they weren't going to have that performance in back-to-back games. The defense stayed the exact same, and Jack Campbell, after a maintenance day, ended up being the starter. For the Montreal Canadiens, obviously, Jesperi Kotkaniemi getting into the lineup in place of an injured Jake Evans, and he opened the scoring. Now, if you watched the live stream with me, live watching the game on the Sportsnet YouTube channel, you saw I actually really liked the Leafs' start to this game. They were way different offensively. They weren't sticking to the perimeter. They were firing shots on from the point while getting a ton of traffic in front of Carey Price. Meat, bodies in front of him. Listen, if he can see the puck, there's a really good chance he's going to stop it. You take his eyes away, he's just another goalie. I'm not exactly a goalie analyst, but here's how I see it. Carey Price, guy. Carey Price, some random guy. And during the stream, just as I was saying, one thing the Leafs have done much better this season is preventing fire drills in their own zone, like sustained possession. And they really only allowed one in this game, like one really bad one. And it was this one, and it resulted in a goal. The second line caught out there in the defensive zone, and you gotta feel like in the first period, they're gonna be a soft target for the Montreal Canadiens. Nick Foligno could have easily put the Leafs up 1-0 with a wide open net, but he missed it. And then in terms of chemistry, you got a guy going back to center after a while, Galchenyuk coming into the lineup, he's getting used to the playoff intensity. After a mad scramble, the point is left wide open, the Habs put it in front, there's a rebound, the puck is loose, there's somewhere, where is it? Jesperi Kotkaniemi finds it, and he puts it into the open net. 1-0 Montreal Canadiens to start. Now, that's how the last game went. The Montreal Canadiens went up 1-0, but the Leafs were able to tie it. This time, we didn't have to wait for the second period, because it was the Leafs with a fire drill of their own. They're generating chances. They got the Habs flopping all over the place. They're doing a line change in the middle of it, I think. Now, he doesn't get the goal here, but he does get the lone assist. I thought Zach Bogosian was the architect of this play. There's a scramble in front. Wayne Simmons whacks at it while falling down. He misses the net, and it goes wide. Without showing the whole footage, Arturi Lehkonen is easily going to get to this puck first, and he could chip it off the glass and out, but using the air, he'd risk throwing the puck over the glass, especially on his backhand, and the Leafs have the point covered. That forces him to turn around, and Zach Bogosian is right on him, so he's trying to get rid of the puck behind the net. And in the process, it actually hits the official in the skate. Bogosian collects it, just throws it in front blindly to anybody. Anybody'll do. Wayne Simmons says, I got it. Jason Spezza says, it's Jason Spezza time. Snipes it. That can't be the way they drew it up, but I don't care. Vintage! Getting on the board and tying the game at 1 about 5 minutes after the Habs get on the board. Listen, the big guys gotta be the big guys. That's a given. And I hate the storyline, oh, Matthews and Marner, and they really gotta step up here. No! What? They gotta be the best players every single game. With Tavares out, they need to be even more the best, for sure, but they gotta be the best as a prerequisite. You need more from the depth guys. You need more from the third, more from the fourth. And here they are providing. You get scoring chances from the fourth line, but they don't convert. You get the third pair in there. You get the fourth line actually scoring. Great shift. Now, there was one penalty in the first period, and that would be an indicator of how the game would go, surely. Zach Hyman called for the hold. I was kind of confused by it. I mean, it's a bit of a hold, for sure. I'm not saying it's the wrong call, but usually it's got to be something pretty fierce in a playoff game if it doesn't affect possession, which it didn't because the Canadiens still had the puck. Once again, the Leafs penalty kill coming up huge and killing this off, so we head to the intermission, tied 1-1. Then, about 5 minutes into the second period, this is the one clip I'll tell you I encourage you to go back to the Sportsnet YouTube channel, go watch the stream, go find the moment the Leafs go up 2-1. Because I'm in the middle of a rant about Justin Holl and about how he scored that goal on Carey Price earlier this season. It was a bomb of a shot, and he was making jokes like, oh yeah, that shot's uncorked. And then I just felt like he never really used that shot throughout the season. I'm like, this guy never shoots. Literally, as I am saying this, Mitch Marner in the neutral zone with the puck, drops it to Austin Matthews. Matthews over to Justin Holl, who's got a lot of ice to work with. He skates it in, he shoots, stopped, but Austin Matthews on the rebound, uncorked! The Leafs get their first lead of the series. I have always defended Justin Holl at every turn. Okay, that play right there. That's the Justin Holl I remember from the Marlies. Jumping up in the play, an excellent read of when it's his time to go. I gotta say though, watching this replay back a few times now, genuinely terrible defense from the Habs. Okay, this is a partial 3-on-2 here. Shea Weber is the defender in the middle. Paul Byron is the forward, quote-unquote, helping him. And trickling into the zone there is Philip Deneau at the speed that, like, it wouldn't even register in a school zone if there was a sign. This is what it looks like 1 second later. As Justin Holl is shooting, Shea Weber can't fully commit to him because he's basically dealing with two guys, because instead of getting in front of Austin Matthews, Byron just decides, okay, I'm gonna two-hand slash him and call it a day. Because Byron defends with his stick and not his body, Matthews is able to just waltz in like it's a ball, and he scores. And as the Leafs get the lead, immediately the flavor of the game changes. It's far more vicious. The Habs are trying to be much more physical, which is a big part of their game. The after the whistle stuff intensifies, and it leads to their first penalty out of 6 in a row. Now, a lot of Montreal Canadiens fans that I've seen so far this morning were quite upset about the penalties, the numbers anyway, being so disproportionate against the Habs. I want to skip ahead a bit and talk about each individual penalty. The only defense, the only complaint I think you can come up with is Toronto should have had more. Montreal deserved every penalty they got. Brendan Gallagher got called for high sticking after cross-checking TJ Brodie in the head after the whistle, and then had the nerve to look at the ref and go, "Me? Yes, you! You cross-checked him in the head, bud!" The second penalty was Artturi Lehkonen with a slash on Wayne Simmonds. Now, the dead-on shot from behind, you can't see what happens because the back is turned to the play. The second one was Artturi Lehkonen on Wayne Simmonds. Now, this is something that I don't think would get called unless it affected possession, and here's the thing, it absolutely did. The Leafs in the middle of a fire drill in front, and Lehkonen gets 2 hands on Wayne Simmonds there as he's trying to shovel the puck into the net. We don't have a great view of it from the back, but I'll tell you who does. The ref, who's staring directly at it. Jesperi Kotkaniemi called for cross-checking on Morgan Rielly. I mean, he broke his stick. They call that. Yes, Austin Matthews did this. I believe it was against Ben Sherratt, but that was in the first game of the season. That was in January. This one was tonight, and they called it. And yeah, they should have called the first one. Sure, I'm with you. But I mean, mail that complaint to January. The delay of game penalty for the goalie interference review is that, what do you expect the ref to do? That's not their fault. It's yours. The most surprising thing I can say about the Shea Weber cross-checking call on Pierre Engvall in the third period is that it wasn't called interference instead. In the Paul Byron cross-checking call on Pierre Engvall with about 30 seconds left, I won't be surprised if it gets a look from the league. I don't think it'll be suspended. I think he'll be fined. But that's dirty, and it only happens because there's 30 seconds left in the game. You need to establish a precedent that the last 30 seconds in a blowout are not lawless. So to me, there's no argument that the Montreal Canadiens should have gotten fewer penalties. Should the Leafs have gotten more? I'll join you there. There were a few times on the stream you can see my live reaction. I was like, oh, I think that might be a penalty. Oh, that might be a penalty. And it wasn't. Based on what I saw, the Leafs should have definitely gotten more power plays than the Montreal Canadiens. I don't know about 6-1, but they should have. Also, the 6 is a little overblown because one of those comes with 30 seconds left on a penalty that was absolutely deserved, and another came from a bad review. Like, what do you want? So, after the Kotkaniemi cross-check on Morgan Rielly, the Leafs head to the power play. Now, they're 0 for 2 on the game, but it's looking good. They're getting shots, they're getting chances, they're getting open looks. Carey Price has been down and out 2 or 3 times in this game already. And on the third power play of the game, they finally crack the code. A couple genuinely hilarious things about this goal. One is the clip on NHL.com begins with Chris Cuthbert going, oh, this power play not looking as dangerous as the previous 2. The other is Matthews enters the zone. He drags the puck back for the patented Matthews drag the puck back and shoot it shot. I'm not sure who it is, but a Montreal Canadian swipes at his stick to stick check it away. And I don't know if this was the plan the whole time or if he knew he was there, but Matthews just goes, yoink, and he whiffs on this with his entire soul. Matthews passed to Marner isn't great, but Marner does a great job collecting it in his foot. He sends it back to Rasmus Sandin. Blam! The Sandman sends that one off to Never Neverland, and the Leafs are up 3-1. But not so fast. The Montreal Canadiens are thinking about challenging this thing. The camera goes up to Marc Bergevin, freaking out and pointing right at the television in his GM suite, leading to what is my new favorite meme in the world, which I'm just gonna call Marc Bergevin angrily pointing at things. Now, you might notice the other guy in the mask there, I'm not sure who that is, but he is on a walkie-talkie. So there is still some confusion who wanted the challenge. Was it Ducharme? Was it Bergevin? Was it whoever walkie-talkie guy is? It seems like management had communication with the bench. Burrows was on his little wrist mic all night long. Who knows who made the call? And what they had a problem with is it appears like Joe Thornton's stick makes some sort of contact with Carey Price during the process, during the flurry in front. Now, I didn't see the entire process. I didn't even see if Carey Price skated over to the bench. But you know who's probably going to know if it's goalie interference? The goalie. And as far as I could tell, Price didn't even react. I know he's a relatively calm guy. Tuukka Rask, you know when he wants a review. And this is such a pivotal moment in the game. A lot is riding on this review. If you get it right, it's still just a 1-goal game. If you get it wrong, it's a 2-goal game, and you send the team that just scored on you on the power play back to the power play. I assume somewhere down the line they asked Price off camera what his opinion was, but if they didn't, that's a mistake. The review takes a really long time. Dubas's head-shaking reaction is just as funny. And here's what I'm wondering, right? So I've been up in that area of Scotiabank Arena. Those suites if I'm not mistaken, are not far apart. Because nobody is in the building, like, I don't know if Mark Bergevin and Kyle Dubas are maybe on the different sides of the building, but in normal times, they're not that far apart. And you wouldn't be able to hear them with the noise of a full building, but if no one else is there, if there are no fans, like, can Dubas hear Bergevin freaking out a few suites down? Because that would be an excellent added element to all this. Good call, ref! Like, I'd just be hanging my head over and screaming at him. Well, maybe not Mark Bergevin, he's kind of huge. But other GMs, anyway, they review it, they call it a goal, the Leafs go back to the power play. They don't score on this one, but the momentum continues. And for the Habs, it's like skating in quicksand. Sure, you won the game with a shorthanded goal last time, but you can't rely on scoring shorthanded. The whole reason shorthanded goals are impressive is because they're not supposed to happen. And that's how the Leafs head to second intermission. Third period begins, and all right, the Leafs greatly outshooting the Montreal Canadiens, but this is where score effects takes over, and the Habs are going to give it back. Which, during the first few minutes of the third period, never really manifests itself. Anytime the Leafs turn it over in the offensive or neutral zone, there's two guys back. Doesn't matter if they're both defenders, but there's two guys back. They didn't crawl into a shell. The Leafs game never really changed in the third. That's when Pierre Engvall, who had a fantastic game in this one, a few scoring chances, one almost squeaks under Price's arm, and he draws this call on Shea Weber to send the Leafs back to the power play. And on this power play, again, good puck movement. The power play in this series so far looks so much different. Simmons over to Nylander. Nylander collects it, sends it to Riley. Matthews blasts it off the post. Nylander collects the rebound and takes an eternity with it, but Price flopping all over the place. Nylander snipes it. 3-goal lead. Yeah, it's a 4-1 lead in the third period, but I'm choosing to ignore that because this team built different. 2 power play goals in one game, and it's the one thing that's been assassinating this team's confidence. I gotta think, with the power play now generating chances, now generating results, this Leafs team is going to be hard to beat. And the Habs getting desperate here. They pull Carey Price with like 6 minutes to go in the game, and the rest of the game takes forever because the Leafs just keep icing the puck, but they're so confident in their face-off ability. Matthews was a monster in this one that they just keep doing it. With about 90 seconds to go, Kerfoot finally gets the empty netter. That ices it, and that's when the game just gets ridiculous. The Paul Byron hit on Engvall is so unnecessary, and this is sort of what I was saying earlier. There's got to be some sort of precedent that in a blowout loss, it can't just be anarchy at the end of the game. You can't just do whatever you want because there's no consequences because the game's already over. I don't know if Byron's hit on Engvall was so bad that he should be suspended. Obviously, Engvall looks okay, but what are you doing? That could have been so bad. And the Leafs know what to expect the rest of the way, so Wayne Simmons is out there. He goes at Ben Sherratt. Him and Edmondson go at it. They get kicked out of the game. Face off, Shea Weber with a nasty slash. He gets kicked out of the game. Like, because they know it's over, so they're just getting their pound of flesh. And I'm reading this for the first time. Engvall misconduct on Weber? What? I assume Engvall did something right back to Shea Weber because, I mean, whether you're up 4 or down 4, the game is over. So you're just going to get your pound of flesh because this is the team you're going to play for the next 3 to 5 games. The NHL's got to crack down on this. There's got to be some sort of carry-over consequences for just not playing hockey during a hockey game. But anyway, the Leafs win Game 2 handily. I personally would not make any changes heading into Game 3. Game 4, you maybe consider them because it's a back-to-back. Questions. Not a question, but David Alter. The Leafs have 2 power play goals in a game for the first time since March 3rd. Oh, very good. With Matthews laying more hits, he was physical in this one. Does it make him more of a target? Yes, and that's good. Dude, Sidney Crosby is a target every time he steps on the ice. Connor McDavid is a target every time he steps on the ice. Alex Ovechkin is a target every time they step on the ice. Superstars are targets. You might as well throw it back. Whether he plays physical or not, night in and night out, no matter who the Leafs are playing, the opponent is going to fear Austin Matthews the most. Because they should. Target? He's not locked in here with them. They're locked in here with him! And just Sheldon Keefe. Sorry, you can tell I'm obviously going through screen caps on my phone. Sheldon Keefe on the string of penalties against the Habs in Game 2. They want to make it a war. If you're going to do that, you're at risk of getting penalties called against you. First of all, what makes an angry person angrier than being calm in their face while they're angry? But he's absolutely right here. Listen, could the Leafs have had maybe 2 more penalties, 3 called against them? Maybe. but the Habs deserved every single penalty they got in this game. Every single one. The game plan is obvious. How did you like Engvall's game tonight? I think he stepped up and was really a thorn in the Habs' butts. And is that the saying? And I kind of liked it. Something maybe we see more. Sorry, Jonathan, you made me laugh. Engvall, I thought, was wonderful in this game. He was drawing penalties. He was a nuisance. He was generating offense. He was just making smart decisions. And I really like his lankiness and his speed. But this is a guy who did not start game 1 in the bubble last year, then comes into the lineup, and he's pretty good playing fourth line center. And in this one, he was playing the wing on the third. Really effective player, I thought. Not just then. We forget, this guy barely had any North American hockey experience before joining the Marlies in 2018 and then going on playing 4 rounds of playoff hockey and winning the Calder Cup. And I really like seeing the DNA of that team that went all the way in 2018 and seeing their experience come through in the Stanley Cup playoffs. This is a player that Sheldon Keefe should be able to trust. And the last thing I wanted to highlight here from Luke Fox, Sheldon Keefe says John Tavares reaching out to his teammates helped put the Leafs at ease and in the proper mindset to focus on tonight's game. I love this Leafs team so much more than any Leafs team I have loved in a very long time. So, let me know what you thought of this video, and let me know what you thought about the stream on Sportsnet's YouTube channel. We're going to be back at it for Game 3 and 4. Don't forget, back-to-back nights, Game 3 and 4, Monday and Tuesday. For now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends! It's tied up.